football team nation, what is going on? Here we go, day 2 mini camp, and we are starting to see the football throwing around and receivers catching passes and cornerbacks breaking up touchdowns, and it's a good time of year, man. Something we missed last year. And first, I want to say you may hear a doorbell ringing continuously throughout. I don't know if Todd could edit it, but you may hear a doorbell ringing continuously throughout the pod. Just excuse it. All right, there's nothing else to explain it. Just excuse it and just bear with us. But yeah, it's minicamp. How you feeling, Todd?
I'm feeling great. I was like, man, I wish we could think of some like game for every time the doorbell rings, something we have to do.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling good, and the main thing that I'm excited about is that actually, you know what? I'm not going to say it because it might.
Yes, please don't, because I think you're going to say it, but let's just.
I'm happy that everything's going well, and that before Montez Sweat started talking about the COVID vaccine, there was nothing controversial going on.
Yeah,
I'm doing great though. I got my Adidas on. This podcast is brought to you by Adidas and Polo Ralph Lauren. But how have you been? I know you've been pretty busy.
Yeah, I've been good, man. Just I've been trying to catch up and look as much as I can, but I'm good. Like you said, there hasn't been no, So there hasn't been many injuries around the league, so that's always promising.
Yeah,
so,
except for the 49ers.
Everybody seems to be healthy around the league for the most part, besides the two guys that worked out, off. So just hoping that not even through this week, around the whole NFL, so I'm not jinxing the Washington football team, that everybody stays healthy. NFL. Yeah, the whole So that's very vague, So
yeah.
Just hoping that everyone stays healthy,
Man. Don't question the power of jinxing things. It's a dangerous game. It's on the non-football note, it's been pretty tough here dealing with these cicadas, specifically in the Northern Virginia Fairfax. I think if you're out in Woodbridge, you're not really dealing with them too much, but where we're at, my, it was a couple nights ago, we were walking, it was Sunday night after the boring fight. We were walking to our apartment building, and there was literally 20 cicadas like directly in front of the door to our building. Like some were alive, some were dead, but it was literally like 20 of them right there. It took me and my wife probably 5 to 10 minutes to actually work up the courage to go inside of the apartment. And I don't know what it is, because like they can't sting you or anything, but they're just, I hate them. They're so big and annoying. But
I hate the sound.
I hate the sound they make when they fall and they get on their backs. And then the sound, we wake up every morning and they're so loud.
Yes.
And there's like a general sound of all of them. And then there's a sound of maybe the especially horny males that's like comes and goes and is even louder.
Yes.
Man, it's crazy.
I had one. What I've learned and how to master it is to not panic. I was at a gas station the other day, and I'm just like, I picked the wrong gas station, and it's like 30 just swarming. It's like off the highway. So like everybody's looking at me, and I'm just like, I'm trying to maintain courage.
Yeah, you got it when you're in public.
Just like, I'm like swatting, ducking, and doing all this. I'm like, man. But what I've learned is if you just let them land on you and then just take your time and flick it off.
Yeah.
Then it's like it's so much more, But they make this noise. I flick one off, and it's like, I'm like, what? I didn't even know they make noise when you.
What?
Yes.
Oh no. See, that's a great plan. I'm gonna be working on it though after they leave for the next 17 years, so that by the time they're back and I have kids and everything, then I'll be ready to do what you described and just let them land on me. I'm definitely not there yet. But hopefully I've got 17 years to prepare for the next one. But it's crazy. If you're not here, if you're in another area, man, it's like a plague. But other than that, and then how's the wedding planning going for you? Because I know the clock is ticking. You got 3 months.
The clock is ticking, man, and we're just learning that some things are just not going to get done. So it's no need to stress out about it. So that's what I'm learning. Just
the main thing is going to get done. That's
exactly the main thing is the main thing.
Right, exactly. That's good, man. I'm happy to hear that. All right, I guess now we can start talking some football. So I will say, in terms of our sponsors, in the YouTube, so Hot Chikn Kitchn is opening a second location. I don't know if they've said where yet. I don't think it's open yet. But on one of the YouTube videos, someone commented and was like, "It just opened. We're gonna go try it out." and I don't know if that was the second location or what, but anyway, so someone went and tried out Hot Chikn Kitchen, and I got to ask them how they liked it. But if you're listening or watching this, be like that person. Go try Hot Chikn Kitchen. Now the truth is, I mean, we don't get anything when you try them. You're the beneficiary of trying Hot Chikn Kitchen. I mean, it's fantastic. So go there, and then on Dun Pro Financial Credit Repair, a couple of people signed up. They reached out, signed up, and said they were sent by Tay and Todd. So
wow.
Do that too. Be like those people also. If you need to get your credit score fixed, and be like them, and ask them about their affiliate program as well, where you can kind of make some money. If maybe you don't need credit repair services, but maybe you know people who do, reach out to Dun Pro Financial, and then they can set you up to where if you send people their way, you get paid for it. Easy money. Mm-hmm. So now that we've covered that, let's talk some football. OTAs, minicamp now. Chase Young. All right. First of all, let's talk about Chase Young. He's back, right? He's there.
Right.
You know, it was like something you have to talk about because there's not much to talk about.
Yeah.
But we all knew it was really nothing to talk about.
Right.
But it's like his presence is definitely, it's crazy. I would love to ask Chase Young if he realizes how much of a impact or a face he is of this team. Like, does he realize how adored he is by fans and media? Like, he is the face of the organization because we don't have a quarterback, so it's him. It's crazy. It's and that's probably why people kind of talked about it. Because if your quarterback didn't show up for OTAs, then you'd be like, that's kind of weird. Chase Young is our franchise quarterback.
Right.
He's our franchise defensive end. But he was there. Did you care that he didn't go to OTAs?
No, it just made me appreciate him that much more when he came yesterday.
That was his plan all along.
Yeah, that was the plan all along, you know. And I mean, the dude's a superstar, man. Let's just go ahead and name it, call it what he is now. And a lot of superstars, they don't, I mean, they want to work out on their own. And as long as he comes back better, and apparently he has, so apparently he's been blowing up practice. And he's like you said, you know, Coach Ron knows that he works. Coach Del Rio knows that he works. So I can see if he had a bad, you know, like for previous quarterbacks we've had, they should have been at, you know, that's expected. But a guy that works as hard as him, I don't mind it. And I know he likes to work out back at Ohio State, and pass rusher, the defensive line coach. So who's had both Bosa's. So, I mean, if he's learning from that guy, then
can't complain.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, when you talk about working out on your own versus like OTAs, they're different things. You know, like when you're training on your own, the things that you're working on are different than the things you're working on OTAs. OTAs are all very much team specific, like obviously position specific, but team specific. Whereas when you're working on your own, you're working on, you know, the things you would use essentially at OTAs on the team. So, and you know, the work you're probably, honestly, to be honest, you're probably working harder working on your own than you are at OTAs. You know, so yeah, it was definitely not an issue. He's here for minicamp, hanging out with the media crew, making fun of. Was it Devereaux Lawrence? Devereaux.
I think so.
Had you heard of him?
Never.
Okay, all right. The next show was the only one, but yeah, making fun of him, which was funny. So it's great that Chase is just there because he's telling Jamin Davis to run off the field.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know, because it might matter someday. I love that you hear stories about that, about another player. I don't think the player was named, but was telling a younger guy we run. You know, like in between drills, we run back and forth. We don't walk around here. That's good stuff, man.
You see, you know what that does is Chase has that mentality. Now next year, Jamin's going to have that. So now you're just building that culture.
Yeah.
You know, Jamin's going to tell that to the rookie next year, and then it's just going to be a bunch of guys that already know what to do. It's not just going to be expected.
Exactly.
You know? And that's what I love about it.
Get to that level where you don't even have to say it. People just come in, and it's just like boom. Culture. I mean, the word culture is like used here so much because it's been so bad, and it needs to be changed. But it's like real, like it's serious, like that. It's used a lot because it really is the thing that needed to change more than anything.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's kind of why, in my mind, like it's really critical that there's at least some level of improvement this year because Ron Rivera, you know, is definitely doing things the right way. So there's the first one.
There's the first one.
That one
hopefully the last.
He's doing things the right way in terms of the culture and building the team. So just you win games to show that it's right, that it works essentially. All right, Chase Young. Let's talk some about Taylor Heineke. And I mean, most of what you hear out of OTAs and minicamp from Heineke is positive things. The little clips you see are positive things. All right, let's just say over under 4.5 games that Taylor Heineke plays in, whether that's starting or coming in at some point. Are you taking the over? Or are you taking the under? 4.5.
Man, it's a good number.
Right.
I'm gonna say under.
Okay. Okay.
I think Fitz is gonna take this thing and give Heineke some time to develop. There's a second one.
That's true.
Give Heineke some time to develop if he needs to develop. I mean, for some reason I have good vibes about Fitzpatrick.
Okay.
Maybe if he starts when we secure the first seed. No, I'm just playing. No, I'm gonna go under. I'm gonna go under. Let's go under.
They're coming in fast and furious now.
Oh my goodness, dude! Got my hand on the mute button.
Okay, so there's a part of me that wants to take the over, and it's really it has less to do with Fitzpatrick specifically. It just has more to do with the fact that in 2018, 4 quarterbacks started a game. In 2019, 3 different quarterbacks started a game, but the switches happened like 5-6 times. And then last year, including the playoff game, 4 quarterbacks started and there were multiple switches. But then there's the part of me that is like, well, if Taylor Heineke did get, if Fitzpatrick got replaced for Heineke, got benched or whatever, would Heineke even last more than 4 games? Because we really don't know in terms of like his injury. I know he's added 15 pounds of the good weight, like he said, which is pretty impressive to add 15 pounds in that, since January.
Yeah.
But man, I don't know if that's the difference. So I'll probably go under 2, but it's not so much, I hate to say it, but I'm not really looking at it in a positive light. I'm saying like he may have to come in and start and then he gets hurt. We're back to Fitzpatrick or we're gone to somebody else.
Yeah.
But the only reason I say that is just because when you don't have the stability at the quarterback position, I can't bet on stability when there isn't stability. You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
I just feel like that's a bad bet but hopefully we're right though. And it is under 4.5 for the right reasons. Right. It doesn't mean that Kyle out. It just Fitzpatrick all the way. Talk today was all about Benjamin St-Juste. Apparently he was the second coming of Darrelle Revis, Richard Sherman out there today in the mini camps, which obviously take it as a grain of salt or for whatever you think it's worth. But how much of it are you going to read into his blow up at camp today, Benjamin St-Juste? On a scale of 1 to 10, how much are you reading into it in terms of this season, this year, and his level of play? What it will be?
I'm gonna say 8. I liked him when we drafted.
You're all the
him.
way in.
Off-season hype. Seriously, dude, because it's just something different about him, man. We've hit on 3rd round picks a lot.
They have definitely been hitting. They've been nailing 3rd rounders lately.
So that's why I was a little confident. And I like his length. I like that he matches, with what we're trying to do. And that's and he has some speed on him. They said he's staying connected with Terry and doing stuff like that. And he's a corner that we haven't had in some time. Even like William Jackson the third, they're kind of like similar.
They are similar, I would say.
And I think it gives them some flexibility to move Kendall Fuller around.
For sure.
And I think that's what they want.
Sure.
One thing that I don't want to move too far ahead, but one thing that I found was interesting was I think it was Jack Del Rio said something about wanting to discuss like one game we'll play man, the next game we play zone. And I just think that's so cool because like
then you don't know what to prepare for.
You don't know what they expect, It's like, man, so if he shows up like he's doing, I think the defense takes another step.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I'm gonna say 5. I'm gonna try to stay perfectly level. Because camp is camp, mini camp is mini camp. But it's all like it's better than hearing he's getting burned. Right. Every practice. Like it really may mean something positive. We don't know. I'll say 5. I'll say that's how much I'm reading to it is like, okay, I think, he was a 3rd round pick. So really there is reason to believe he should be a good player in the NFL. But I don't want to expect too much week 1 and then who they play week 1. He's getting, beat by Keenan Allen, who's a good receiver in the NFL. So I'm going to say 5.
I don't see that happening.
You think he's going to strap up Keenan Allen?
I just think our pass rush is just so dominant.
Well, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
gonna cover up a lot until he's really ready.
Uh-huh.
That's just
So
my
I mean,
opinion.
I guess the question is even going to play a lot week one against Keon? That's the follow-up
I
question.
think
Is he
I think he's
starting
starting.
outside?
I think he's starting outside.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I think that if he continues this trend, that's probably the best thing. So if they go into
Right.
training camp and you're hearing positive things again about
Right.
St-Juste, now he's performing again. Last year he's playing against Dontrell. Okay, so Terry McLaurin, good, but after Terry, he's playing against Dontrell Inman, right? Cam Sims, really before he had really
Ascended.
shown, ascended.
Yeah.
Um, Isaiah Wright.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm having trouble remembering some of these guys.
Gandy
Antonio
Golden.
Gandy Golden,
Yeah.
Steven Sims Jr. Like these were the receivers. Like these were the top receivers, and now he's playing against Terry McLaurin. Will be Curtis Samuel. I think it's Diami Brown. Is it Diami Brown?
Yeah.
I think it's Diami Brown. Adam Humphries.
Adam Humphries.
Guys who are coming in either at a like Diami Brown as a third round pick at a higher level, or guys who have had success in the league, and so that kind of gives you a better feeling about him playing well against them versus playing well against guys who are on the bubble.
Yeah, I agree.
But I mean, if he, like you said, he really, if he does become like even just a William Jackson, the third level player, I think it could send this defense to insane heights. Because if you have a defensive line that can get after the quarterback, which this defensive line can, I'd like to see them take a step even further. But then you could play man on the back end.
My goodness, dude.
I mean, because then the precision that's required from the quarterback to get the ball, you have to be very accurate then if you're playing against really tight man coverage. And if you're even slightly off, then that's where the bad passes come in. There's no wide open receivers running into wide open zones. So if St-Juste and William Jackson 30 outside playing man and Kendall Fuller's playing nickel, and then man, that could be really awesome.
Yeah, I think that's going to be intriguing because especially with Chris Harris as a defensive back coach, very good. I mean, coach, who he had in San Diego.
Yeah,
Elliott at now. So
he seems like I mean, he was getting some talk about defensive coordinator positions in the offseason, right? I imagine he'll be gone after this year for sure, right? Which it happens, but so it seems like they're getting coached up well, and that on the back end, the scheme that's being called by Jack Del Rio, the plays that are being called are easier. They're more clean cut. There were a couple of times where you saw where it wasn't, and then they got beat.
Yeah.
But I think now you may not have to disguise anymore. You just go out there and you play your game, and your game is good enough. Yeah. That's the hope. That's the goal. Yeah. I think that's really the like when you get to that point as a defense, that's when you know you've made it. Where like if you can disguise, that's great. Obviously, that's even better. But if you can just go out there and line up and it's cover 3. They know it's cover 3. Exactly. We're still going to stop. They know it's a man single high. They know it's a man 2. What are you going to do about it? Like you still can't beat us. That's when you know you're. So that's the hope. There's a lot of pressure on this defense this year, I would say, because I think even with Fitzpatrick, the defense is what will have to carry the team. Is what should. That's where all the talent. That's where the majority of the talent is. If the offense excels above expectations, but then the defense doesn't, or kind of is lagging behind, I think that's more discouraging than the opposite. Talk quickly about Sadiq Charles. He's been playing left tackle. He's been starting second string left tackle, not in terms of like what he'll do this season there, but in general, they had him at left guard last year, and that's where he was. But now he's at tackle. Are they trying him? Do you think they're giving another go at tackle? What's the thinking? What do you think the thinking is?
I think you gotta. I mean, who's the depth behind that?
Behind Charles?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the tackles. I imagine the tackles are going to be Leno, Lucas, Cosme, Charles, those 4.
Yeah. So I think you got to kind of at least get him prepared for that. And I think him and Leno are very comparable. Comparable as far as size. And I know Leno's not the tallest tackle like a Cornelius Lucas is, or like a Cosme.
6'7". Right.
So I like it. And then, like you said, Ron preaches diversity, not diversity. Ron preaches, what is it? Interchangeableness, what if that's a word? Guys
Hold on, what's
slip.
the word?
He uses it a lot, and I just can't think of it right now.
It's like diverse, but
Yeah.
it's like diverse skill sets.
Flexibility.
Yeah, position flex.
Position flex.
Yeah, it's not diversity. It's like positional diversity.
Yeah.
But when you said it felt like we were talking about black people and white people.
Yeah.
Which he does promote too.
Yes.
That's not what we're talking about. Yeah.
No.
Maybe it's because you said diversity instead of diversity.
Yeah,
I don't know.
think so. I don't know.
Also, what's the difference between those two?
I don't know.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
So yeah, I think he wants that, and I wouldn't be surprised if you see someone else there at training camp just to kind of get guys flexible and knowing the system at both spots. But I mean, if Leno goes down, then we're gonna need somebody, and with Moses gone and with a couple other people gone, Jerron Christian. I mean, that's all we have. So I'm interested to see what happens.
Yeah, I think so. Charles Leno is not their long-term answer at left tackle, and part of me wonders. So last year, you had you were trying out Jerron Christian at left tackle. You had to see what you had there. He was a former third-round pick, and then that went how it went. Sadiq Charles, I think you came in and you wanted to see what you had in Christian at left tackle before Charles, and then you liked the potential Charles had at guard. And then, the left tackle went how it went, but you only had you only had Charles at guard really. And so if he was going to play, he had to play at guard.
Right.
And then now I kind of wonder, you have Leno, who you really think can come in and he probably won't be great, but he can just be your left tackle at least. He can be decent. He can be solid. And maybe give him that year, give Leno this year, let Charles practice at left tackle all offseason. During the season, be a tackle. Maybe you added depth at guard. You added Eric Flowers. You have Keith Ismail, who I assume you like. And then next year, you're trying Sadiq Charles at left tackle, maybe. But then you also maybe have Cosme available at left tackle. But you can maybe keep Cosme at right tackle and have Charles at left tackle. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't know. I'm just trying to.
So do you think Leno is just a 1-year rental?
I do think so. I think between Cosme and Sadiq Charles, I mean, Cosme probably the more likely, but I think that they want to go younger for left tackle. Also, I think there's a cap to Leno. Like the same way there's a reason Morgan Moses was cut, there's a reason Charles Leno was cut. Or otherwise neither one of them would be available.
All right.
That's kind of my thinking. But I do think he is a 1-year. Maybe you bring him back, but if you bring him back, I think you want someone else starting.
Competing.
Yeah, like Cornelius Lucas, or maybe Lucas is the better option as your backup swing tackle. I just found it interesting.
So how old is Leno? You know?
I think he's like 30.
So what would warrant him coming back for a multi-year deal? Like what would you say has to be done for him to
come back? I mean, I think he would have to. Let's see, he's 29. He'll be 30 during the season. I think that Charles Leno to come back would have to play at a level higher than he has in his career.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's tough to quantify with linemen since there's not a lot of stats to it, but just like play like a legit left tackle who is better than average, who is like good to very good, who also can do all the things they want to do in terms of like movement, athleticism, getting out on screen plays, getting out on pulling, because they do a lot of that stuff. Just in terms of athleticism and because he's not old, be 30. So, I mean, I just think between Lucas and Leno, like, I don't think they're both going to be around here for a while. And Lucas, to me, seems like the better long-term option just because he plays both sides.
Yeah.
Just one man's opinion. But I just thought Sadiq Charles back at left tackle was interesting after it seemed like he had settled in at guard. Troy Apke, cornerback. Troy Apke is now not a safety. That experiment is over, failed, right?
Yeah.
He's an example of why with St-Juste you have to kind of, temper expectations because, he's but again, Troy Apke is the speed and the size that you want for all of these positions. Like athletically off the charts.
Yeah.
His problem at safety was really just like vision, getting to his drop instincts, angles, coming up to the ball. It was like the freedom that comes with being a safety in a sense was too much for him. And then he kind of just always did the wrong thing. But as a, if he's a cover 2, he's responsible for half the field. If he's in single high, he's responsible for the whole field. But if he's a cornerback, he's responsible for one half, or he's responsible for the man in front of him. Maybe that's what it'll take. Maybe that's where his athleticism is best used, where you can hide the other things.
Yeah, and I think it buys him a little bit more time because that safety spot is deep.
Safety spot, yeah, no, he's getting cut if he's still a safety, guaranteed. As a cornerback, considering special teams too, as a cornerback, as a gunner,
exactly.
Maybe he is your 5th guy.
Yeah, I could honestly,
because the athleticism is off the charts.
It is off the charts. You don't want to give that up.
4.3 speed, and he's how tall? He's
6'4".
He's 6'4".
He's 6'4".
Let me look track. Which is another thing on St-Juste. I've seen 6'3" and I've seen 6 foot, and I don't know which is true. I see. Well, I mean, you can only trust. I see 6'1" on like NFL.com.
Really? I saw. Imagine he's maybe 6'3", 6'2".
Yeah, he's okay. He's like tall.
Yeah, he's tall for safety.
Let's go middle at 6'2". He's tall.
Yeah, let's go middle.
So if he can be a 6'2" cornerback that can run a 4.3, that's phenomenal. But the question is, can he stay with guys? I just have a picture of him getting burnt terribly on a double move. That's just what I am imagining right now, because it just seems like those natural instincts aren't there. But maybe at cornerback he can learn that.
Hey, that's what preseason's for. So that's going to be a fun thing to watch.
It'll be fun and like to the wide receiver's point, because he's working as a backup cornerback, obviously. Right. So, and you've kind of heard some things and him getting, beat and whatnot. And we hear about like one play out of however many they run. But if at training camp, he's probably matching up against Cam Sims, Kelvin Harmon, Antonio Gandy-Golden, Steven Sims. Those are the guys he's playing against as the number 2. Probably not so much the better guys. If he can play well against them, then okay. If he's getting beat by those guys, then I think at that point, okay, well, if he has to come out and cover Keenan Allen or Kenny Golladay or Calvin Ridley, then he's going to get beat.
Yeah.
So hopefully what we hear out of camp from that cornerback is that he's playing well against the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th receivers at camp right now. But I like that they are trying to get whatever they can possibly out of him and not just cutting him. I like trying that. Like you look at Quentin Dunbar, he came in as a wide receiver. Miles Paul came in as a wide receiver.
Yep.
They switched. They have careers now that probably wouldn't have existed if they didn't make positional switches.
For sure.
Like Tim Tebow. Okay, and then I think the last thing, well, not really big, but let's move on to the wide receiver group now, since we were kind of talking about that. And I think we're doing who's in, who's out at wide receiver. All right, we'll do wide receivers for today. We'll hit running backs, tight ends, all the other positions. But for now, wide receivers, who's in, who's out. You want to go first?
Yeah, I'm going to
go back and forth go down the line, go back and forth.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. All right. Who's your first receiver that is in?
Terry.
Yeah, that's easy. Obviously. Number 1 is obviously Terry McLaurin. He's guaranteed in. We can do in and then out.
Okay.
All right. Who's your first receiver who's out?
Gandy Golden.
Man, okay. Yeah. Okay. I think my first out is going to be DeAndre Carter.
I knew you were going to say that.
I think just because, they just brought him in to compete, but they didn't invest draft capital into him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go DeAndre Carter as my first out. Who's your second in?
Second in and go Curtis Samuel.
That's an easy one.
Big contract.
Right. Samuel. That's my second in as well. Who's your second out?
Oh, man. I'm going to go Sims Jr.
Sims Jr. Okay. I'm going to go Harmon. I think people are going to be some people might be irate to hear that. I mean, sure, he played well at the end of 2019. I just think that injury, man. I think if he could have played this year, he could have shown maybe along the lines of what Cam Sims showed, but Cam Sims showed it because Kelvin Harmon was hurt. And then I just think that at this point, I think him and Cam Sims are kind of similar types, but Sims has shown you more in the games. So
apparently he had a good day today.
Harmon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great for another team to hear when they sign him probably. But I think he's my second out. DeAndre Carter,
Okay.
Kelvin Harmon. Who's your third in?
Third in, De'Ami Brown.
Yeah, Brown for sure, guaranteed.
Brown. Yeah.
Guaranteed. Those are your three 100% guaranteed.
Yeah.
McLaurin, Samuel, and Brown.
Yep.
Who is your third out?
Third out.
Sims Jr. and AGG are your first two.
Yeah. Let's go. How many receivers are we keeping, first of all?
That's a good question. I'm going to say 7.
7.
That's what I think. I think they kept 7 last year to start. I think.
Okay. Forgot about my guy. Okay. Let's go.
I know who your guy is. It's not wrong. It's not wrong. It's
right. I forgot all about my guy. All right, let's go. Let's go Harmon, man. Harmon, like you said about Cam Sims, he's the same type player, and the difference is that the difference between the two is one was available and one wasn't. So,
yeah. Okay. So let's see. And I want to make sure we're not forgetting any guys whose names we barely know. My third out, I think, is going to be Sims Jr.
Mm-hmm.
I think just because you have Curtis Samuel and Adam Humphries. Now, look, I don't think Adam Humphries' spot is guaranteed by any means, but I just think that Steven Sims Jr. did not leave a good enough taste in the mouth of the coaches last year. I just think so. Yeah, I'm gonna go Sims Jr.
Okay.
So who is your fourth in?
My fourth in is going to be Cam Sims.
Okay, that's a solid one. I'm honestly I'm gonna go with Cam Sims with my fourth one too, over Adam Humphries.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna go with Cam Sims because I mean, the dude deserves to be a fourth wide receiver. The issue was not him playing; it's that he was being a number 2 wide receiver. He's got some skills.
Right.
Catches the ball. I know towards like after the Steelers game in that obviously big catch on 4th down, he had a couple drops. He had the one in the playoff game everyone remembers. He had one in the Seahawks game. Just there were a couple drops there for sure. But I don't think that undoes what he did. Like he really stepped up in that Steelers game. He provided a spark in the second Giants game. He provided a spark, and we learned that he is better with the ball in his hands than we thought. He's better. So I think that the coaching staff, though, they didn't bring Cam Sims in. They inherited him. I think they're impressed with him. And the fact that Cam Sims has clearly worked his way onto and staying onto this roster because he's been on the team for 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah.
This was his first time really playing this past year. And then he took advantage of that opportunity.
Yeah, he did.
So to me, he's the kind of guy you would love to have if other guys get hurt because he can come in and he'll do some things for you.
Yep.
So Cam Sims, fourth in. Who is your fourth out? Don't forget about Milne either.
Yeah, I got him. He on the roster.
Okay.
Can we do practice squad?
Now let's stick to the 7. We'll get to the 7 and then we'll do that.
Okay. Carter's out for me.
Okay.
Save
Carter's
that
out. Okay. This is a little controversial, but my fourth out is going to be Adam Humphries.
Wow.
I think when you look at what they're paying him, he's fighting for a roster spot. Now I know he played with Fitzpatrick at what's it called in Tampa and whatnot, but I think that there's maybe younger guys, and one in particular whose name you'll hear next, that I think are both fighting for the same type of role. And one I think is a bit more versatile than the other, and one was also picked. So that's Adam Humphries is my fourth out.
Okay.
Who's your fifth in?
Fifth in is Isaiah Wright.
That's your guy, huh?
Yeah, and the reason why I pick him is because he offers something that not many of the receivers offer besides Curtis Samuel. In terms of being able to rush out the backfield, he can punt return, he can catch screens, and I just think I liked him a lot last year, man, and I wanted to see him do a little bit better, but quarterback play was a problem all throughout the year, and I think he's going to step up. I like Isaiah Wright a lot because say if Samuel goes down, you could go ahead and throw him right in there, and you
Right.
won't miss a beat.
Right.
And I think you need that because say if Samuel does go down and you got Harmon can't do that, Gandy Golden can't do that, so it kind of limits the playbook and what you actually want to do. So I think Wright, his flexibility is going to be huge. I wouldn't say he's a lock. He's going to have to earn it, but I got him getting it fifth.
Yeah.
Spot.
So Isaiah Wright is my fifth. He's the reason why I
Really?
have Humphreys not making the roster because again, like Humphreys and Isaiah Wright, they're not the same. Humphreys isn't a gadget guy. He's more of a true slot. But I mean, I think that Wright, again, he's a guy who you just want to get the ball in his hands.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's a natural backup to Curtis Samuel, like a very, very poor man's, but again, versatility.
Yep.
He can line, he can take stuff out of the backfield. And, he's a big guy. Came in a little lighter this year. I think came in a little too heavy last year. And then they handpicked him after the season as an undrafted free agent.
Undrafted, yeah.
But they just seem to like young guys. Humphreys is not old, but he's not young.
Mm-hmm.
Also, and maybe this isn't like exactly fair, but I could see Humphreys dealing with the injury in like camp. It's been a struggle for him the last couple of years, and that maybe will open the door for a guy like Isaiah Wright to show what he can do. All right, who is your fifth out?
I guess I'm gonna have to go. It's between two. I'm gonna have to go Dax right here.
Okay.
I like him a lot.
Is this a practice squad move?
Yeah, this is a practice squad move.
Yeah, I'm gonna go same. I think he makes the practice squad. I don't think he makes the active roster.
Right.
And then sixth in
Humphreys for me.
Okay, Humphreys for you, AGG for me. Fourth round pick.
Wow.
Fourth round pick. I mean, I think that he will have improved enough in camp to earn the sixth wide receiver spot in terms of let's just see what we have because we picked him in the fourth round and we barely got anything out of him. So
my thing is we're stacked now. So where is he going to find that time?
I mean, I don't know. Ideally he doesn't have to. Ideally he doesn't have to, but he probably will. And when the time comes, hopefully. They invested a fourth round pick in it. That's my rationale on this, honestly.
Yeah. Whether
or not he will become the player you would have hoped, I don't know. Maybe he becomes Cam Sims for you, but I don't know. It's tough to do that too. And then, you just look at like an Adam Humphreys. You can sign Adam Humphreys. I mean, you cut him. You could probably resign, but guys you drafted are like guys you put your name on. I don't know. I'm just
like we did with Inman last year. We cut him and then picked him back up next week.
Exactly. So that's my rationale on that. But we'll definitely see. And then the seventh in. Right, seventh. There's there's really.
I think we hit them all right.
Tony Brown, I think he's an easy out, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I didn't hit Dax Milne. I don't know if they're gonna keep 6 or 7. Honestly,
I don't know.
That was my Milne was my out. Okay, yeah. So we hit them all. So Tony Brown would essentially be our last out.
All right.
So then in that case, we have them keeping 6. If they keep 7, then I'd probably say Humphreys.
Yeah, and I would say Dax.
Okay, got you, because you have Humphreys in there. So you have Terry, Samuel, Brown, and then Cam Sims, Isaiah Wright, and Adam Humphreys.
You're right.
And I have Terry, Samuel, Brown, and then Cam Sims, Isaiah Wright, and AGG. I could see them keeping 7 though. For me, that's Humphreys. For you, that's Milne as the 7th.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. In and out.
That's gonna be an interesting. That's gonna be a good battle, and you gotta think of it like they're all gonna have fair chances because every quarterback knows the offense like the back of their hand.
That is true.
At least for Heineke and Allen. So there's going to be no excuses because they're going to get them guys the ball.
Yeah, they'll have opportunities.
Whether so they'll have opportunities.
That's a good point because your third string quarterback, like you said, is Allen. Whoever is running with the third string or the second and third, they know the offense. Right? It's not Steven Montez. And they're guys who can actually get you the ball for sure. So they will have opportunities. Those top 3 could be much better than what we had here last year. I think Dommy Brown is a little smaller than I thought. I don't know if you saw. Well, you saw the mic'd up segment with Ron Rivera, but then there was a point where he was talking to the younger guys, and Brown was standing over there, kind of away from Terry McLaurin, but he just looked a little smaller than I thought. Not that's not a bad thing. It does. It really is no thing. It's just something that I'm saying. But you really hope that Dommy Brown can come in day one and really do something for you, right?
I hope so.
I mean, he at whatever level, whether it's down the field, whether it's underneath, whether it's whatever it is. I would like to see him with the ball in his hands more, because in college, you saw a little bit. A lot of what you saw was downfield, just open, wide open. Okay, so should we do the awards thing, or do you want to save that for a next episode?
Let's save it for next episode.
Okay, yeah.
However, I do have a question. Yes. Out of what's your favorite position group, factoring in potential upside, age, coaching? What would you say is your favorite position or group right now, heading in the off season, heading into training camp?
I would say,
and why?
This is probably the easy choice, but it's the defense. Does the defensive line count as one, or does it have to be defensive tackles?
Defensive line. All
right, defensive line. Sorry, someone's calling me. I would say the defensive line, because I mean, well, you said it. For one, they're all young. They're all supremely talented. They're all like good guys, like A+ work ethic guys, A+ character guys, have leadership traits. You know, Sweat probably being the last in that category, which is fine. And then like they are really the core of this team right now. Like even if they get a quarterback, I think the defensive line, they're supposed to be the driving force behind the success of the team. They seem like they have really good chemistry. Like they're legitimately all friends. So I'm gonna go defensive line. What about yours?
I'm gonna go linebacker, man. I just think this is what I envision. First of all, you got the coaching with Jack Del Rio, Ron Rivera, Coach Russ. And then you got Hudson, you got Holcomb, and you got Davis. Holcomb, I think, is 24, 25. Davis, 21. Hudson, I think, is 22 or 23. Now, you look at that position, and they're all athletic. Yeah. They all are disciplined, it seems. They're all young. And I just think they're going to have a great opportunity to grow, like, together. You know, and they all are flexible, you know, have that position flex where you can go out one series where Jamin's at the mic, you know, or Hudson's at the mic, and he can blitz. Hudson can blitz, and Holcomb can blitz. And I'm starting to think that young linebacker core is about to be dangerous. And it's not like one is old, like a Bostic, and he's like nearing retirement.
Yeah.
No, they're all young. So they're going to have at least like 3 or 4 years together.
Yeah.
And they have the potential in about 4 or 5 years to be outstanding, to go with that D-line.
Yeah.
And it could be scary, you know?
Yeah. I like that. It's funny you mentioned Cleek Hudson, because I was watching the Seahawks game back, and I forgot how much he played that game, but you kept seeing him pop up, a lot of times popping up in the backfield. And I kind of want to do a bit of a breakdown on that, because I forgot that he had played, but he's not a name you hear much about. But to be fair, linebackers are typically not names you're going to hear much about. But I wonder what they have in store for him, what the plan is, because I'd love to see him out on the field.
He's fast, and he can play. He has that position flex too. He can play safety. You know, he did that at Michigan. He played the Viper role in Michigan, I think it's called. You know, where he's like safety. He played corner a little bit. He played D-line, and he played all of it.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited and interested to see that. I think the linebacker core is going to be outstanding this year as opposed to previous year.
Yeah, that would be, because obviously if you had to pick between the two, you'd pick a great defensive line and average linebackers. But if you have a great defensive line and then some really good linebacker play behind it, that's how you become, you know, with the Steelers, with the Steel Curtain was, what the Ravens were with Ray Lewis. Even what the 49ers really can be, because they've got some really good linebackers, what they were back in the day. So, I mean, yeah, that group, I feel like there's a lot on that group right now.
Yeah,
because you got Jamin Davis. If that guy next to Jamin Davis, if you can get a guy right next to him between Holcomb or Hudson or somebody else who can be really solid, man, look out.
It'll be dangerous.
There's a lot on this defense this year. As much as they proved last year, they have a lot to prove this year.
Yeah, and I think they will. I think they're up for it. I think I'm not necessarily scared of. Last year I mentioned before I was scared. I was terrified of the Cowboys. This year I'm not scared of the offense that much.
Yeah.
Because we got St-Juste, we got William Jackson, we got Kendall Fuller. Our secondary. I mean, good night.
Yeah.
Cam Curl, Collins coming back, Reeves, Bobby McCain, and the secondary is all of a sudden looking really, really good. So
Right.
I
And the
don't care who they
depth.
line up at me. I don't care who they throw at us.
Right.
I mean, they built. Now, if one goes down in injury, then we might have some trouble.
I mean,
Fourth,
I think even the depth is really good
yeah,
because you say
fourth
if
corner, and
like if St-Juste and William Jackson are outside and Kendall Fuller's your inside, well, if one of the outside guys get hurt, Kendall Fuller goes outside, Jimmy Moreland comes in the
yeah, I
nickel,
forget about Jimmy. Yeah,
or if Kendall Fuller gets hurt, Jimmy Moreland or it's just
Danny Johnson. No, I'm just
Troy Apke.
yeah, right.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm excited. It's like probably maybe just because there was no preseason
Daryl
last
Roberts,
year.
right?
Daryl Roberts, yeah.
Yeah,
But
he played. Yeah,
and also Bobby McCain made his money as a nickel
yeah,
cornerback,
that's huge right there.
which is that's not nothing. I
Yes,
think he may be your 10th guy. He's your 5th safety, and he's your 5th cornerback. Or so like I think he could be that guy where
right.
if you're nickel back, whoever that is, Fuller or Moreland or both of them go down, suddenly McCain's at nickel, and then you've got Curl at free and or Everett at free, or I don't know, but I think that that's pretty big. The fact that he played nickel and he plays
That's
free
huge.
safety. I think
That's huge.
he allows you to maybe keep one less cornerback and one less safety because he's both of them. That's big.
So who starts at free safety, you think?
Man, I have no idea. I don't know if it's. I guess I'll say Bobby McCain. I think I'm thinking Bobby McCain. I wonder where Reeves and Everett stand. I think Everett's pretty solid, man.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty solid. But I guess I'll say Bobby McCain.
Yeah.
For now. Although we thought who was it last year? They signed from the Steelers.
Sean Davis.
Sean Davis, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't make the roster, so that's kind of how I feel about Adam Humphries right now. That's why I said Adam Humphries. I think there's a chance he could be this year's Sean Davis. But anyway, that's it for me. You have anything else to cover?
No, that's it, man. That's it.
Okay. All right. Pray for us as we continue to battle these cicadas. It's an everyday struggle. It's an everyday fight, but we're going to get through it together, and we're going to be stronger on the other end. Right. Again, check out our sponsors, Hot Chikn Kitchn, Dumb Pro Financial, and check out our next episode. We're going to try to get some real cool guests lined up, and check out our YouTube too. We'll do some breakdowns and look at some other stuff. So thank you for listening or watching, however you choose to consume this content. I'm Todd.
This is Tay.
We'll talk to you later.